Good morning and welcome to Strength and Balance. My name is Hannah. I'm a senior fitness instructor with Stonebridge Community Services. Today we have a full body strength workout, including some exercises that are quite core specific, which will be on the floor for. If you do not want to be on the floor, if that isn't a great choice for you today, I will give modifications. One of them will be on a chair and one of them will be standing against a wall. So look out for those. I will demonstrate the modifications for sure, and you can take those options if that's best for you. Other equipment that you'll need, we're going to use weights. I use this big set of dumbbells. You can use any set of dumbbells that feels good. The beauty of this class is that it doesn't matter if you're using small weights or larger weights, you're still going to get a good workout that's appropriate for you. If you don't have weights, you can use water bottles, full water bottles, or soup cans, something that you have two of and both of them weigh the same would be just perfect. For the balance part of the class, some kind of support furniture, so the chair or the table, the back of the sofa, you can have a hand on the wall if that feels secure for you. Let's make sure we have some water to sip on throughout the workout, and the space to move around should be dressed in something comfortable. I think that's all I have to say. So let's come up to feet and we will begin here. Great, so I'm going to stand up nice and tall, and I'm going to start by marching on the spot, lifting my feet up nice and high, moving those arms forwards and backwards, shoulders relaxed. And let's take a nice deep breath, big inhale, and exhale, lower those arms down. Deep breath in and out. Reach those hands up, slowly lower down, and again, inhale and exhale. Good, let's pull those shoulders up towards our ears, relax them down. Lift those shoulders and lower. Lift and lower. Pull those shoulders up and down. Good, let's roll our shoulders, nice big circles. And roll those shoulders forwards now. Good, let's hit those arms out to the side, make some little circles here. Arms in the other direction. Good, bring those hands in and reach them out. Hands in and out. Hands in and out. Hands in and out. Bring those hands up into a goalpost. Hands and elbows together and out. In and out. In and out. And again, in and out. Push those hands up and down. Up and down. Up and down. And again, hands up and down. Good, relax those arms. Let's tap those toes forwards. March those arms. Good, and let's take those toes out to the sides. Good. Let's take one foot, tap your toe and your heel. Toe and heel. And let's march those arms at the same time. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and heel. Let's switch to the other side. Tap your toe and your heel. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and heel. Good. Bring those feet together and we'll tap our toes. Let's wiggle our fingers. Good, let's tap our heels. Tap those fingers to our thumb. Good. Let's tap toes and then heels. Toes and heels. And we'll circle those wrists. Circle those wrists the other way. Good. Let's stand with those feet hip width apart and circle those hips. Nice and slow. Go back in the other direction. Good. Let's take a nice deep breath here. Big inhale. And exhale, lower down. Excellent. We're going to begin. Let's see. We're going to do a squat and we're going to have a bicep curl at the same time. So we're going to have two weights. One in each hand. Standing up nice and tall. I'm going to sink down into this squat as I come up. I'm going to curl those hands up. Do that little bicep curl with both hands. If it's better for you to do one hand at a time, then that is fine. We're going to do a few exercises. We're going to do three, I think a group of three, and we'll repeat them twice, and then another group of three, and then a group of two. So we have 8 exercises today. Let's stand up nice and tall. Take a deep breath. We're going to sink into that squat, and as we come back up, pick those weights up, and then lower, and then into that squat again. Good. So that momentum as you stand up helps you pick those weights up. Remember, one hand at a time is a perfectly good option too. Good. Excellent. Good. And let's do one more. Good. And we can pop a weight down. This next one we'll just do with the one weight. We're moving to our upper body. You can watch me for the first one here. Just gonna let somebody in. So let's hold this weight straight up to the ceiling, right up above your head. You're gonna bend at the elbow, lower that weight back behind your head, and then straight up to the ceiling again. Here we go. Inhale as we lower down. Exhale as we lift. Nice and slowly lower down. Exhale as we lift. Two more. Good. Bring that weight down. Let's pick up the second weight. This one is upper body again. And we're going to do an upright row. So we're standing with our weights in front of us. My palms are facing the front of my body. I'm going to lift from the elbows, lift those hands up, slowly lower down, as if you're lifting up like 2 heavy bags of groceries, something like that. Knees nice and soft, chest tall. Let's breathe out as we lift, breathe in as we slowly lower. And we're lifting just as high as that feels comfortable. Those arms don't need to be, we don't need to point those elbows to the sky. Your upper arm is kind of parallel with the floor. That is about as far as you need to go. Good. Couple more. So the garbage truck is here. Oh, I've got to put those down for a minute because that's a heavy, that is a challenging movement with a heavy weight here. We're going to repeat those 3. So a squat and a bicep curl to start with. Then I put my weights at my side. Knees nice and soft. I'm going to inhale, sink down, exhale, do that bicep curl as I stand up. So here we go. Nice deep breath in and out. And then slowly lower those weights down, and then we'll squat down. So let's make sure we've lowered those weights. We're in control before we lower the hands. Before we sink into the squat. Good. Great. Into that squat. Chest nice and tall. Good. I'm going to do 2 more. Good. Let's pop a weight down. Oh, I can already tell this one's going to be a challenge. Let's take this weight, this one weight, right up above your head, straight up to the ceiling. Let's bend at the elbows, lower that weight behind your head. Exhale straight up. We want to be standing nice and tall. Really thinking about your breathing. Good. I'm really breathing very deeply, so I'm not speaking, but we'll do 1 more. Good. Bring that weight down. I'm going to pick up the second weight, ready for that upright row. So my hands are facing the front of my body. I'm going to lift from the elbows, slowly lower down. You can do this one hand at a time if that feels better. And we really want to think about not curling our wrists. So keeping that lower arm straight, a straight line from your arm, from your elbow all the way to your hand, so that wrist doesn't curl. Think about keeping your wrists in alignment. Good. The movement is from your shoulders. We'll do 1 more. Great. We'll put the weights down for a moment. Very good. We're going to do, we have 3 more to do now. 2 lower body, 1 upper body. We're going to hold our weights, 1 in each hand. I'll turn to the side so you can see me here. I'm going to lift up my left foot. So my toe is touching the floor and my heel is lifted. My toe is about in line with the heel of my right foot. So take a moment to get yourself into that position. Remember, it's the left foot that we're lifting, because the second time we do this exercise, we'll lift the right. So right now it's the left. We're standing up tall and we're doing a hip hinge. So hinging forwards, lowering those weights down. Exhale to stand up. Think about sticking your bum out behind you. Nice big exhale as you come up. Keep that chest tall and think about a nice flat back. So a straight line from your tailbone up to the top of your head. We'll do 3 more. One more. Good. Let's relax here. We're going to do some L raises. So I have a weight facing the front of my body and 1 weight facing the side of my body at the same time. I'm going to lift these weights and then lower down. Oh, it's going to be a struggle. Let's exhale as we lift. Inhale as we lower. Really think about using your breath. And then let's switch the hands around. We have quite a few to do. Exhale. And inhale as we lower down. Last one. Good. We can put one weight down. We have one more for our lower body, and we're going to do a curtsy, and we're going to hold just this one weight. So holding the weight with a nice relaxed grip at your chest. I'm going to take my right leg, I'm going to step behind, diagonally behind, so that right foot is in line with my left front foot. Bend my knees into that curtsy and stand up. Feet back to center, and then we'll switch to the other side. Good. So here we go. Inhale as you sink down. Exhale as you stand up. Keep that chest nice and tall. Really think about moving slowly on the way down. And nice and fast as you stand up. Let's not hold our breath. Good, excellent. Last one on each side here. Good, very good. Weight down. That set was a challenge. All right, into that deadlift. I'm going to repeat those three. So a weight in each hand. This time, I'm going to lift my right heel. So it's that right foot that comes slightly off the floor. Sorry, I should turn this way so you can see. The toes of my right foot are more or less in line with my left heel. Standing up tall, my knees are soft. Inhale and hinge forward. And exhale, stand back up. Nice and slowly forwards. Inhale on the way down. Exhale as you come back up. Nice flat back. Straight line from tailbone to the top of your head. Last one here. Good. And relax. Excellent. We're going to do those L raises again. So I have one hand with my weight facing my body and the other hand at my side. I'm going to lift both hands at the same time. So from above, it would look like I was making an L shape. One hand comes forward, the other to the side. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you slowly lower down. We won't do as many as the last round. One more here before we switch hand positions. So switch those hands around, the other one's forward, one at your side. Good. Nice and slowly as you lower if you can. Last one here. Oh, good. I did not have very good form. And that's probably a sign that those weights are too heavy for me to do that movement. And if you find that you're struggling to keep good form, might be that the weights are too heavy for that one particular movement. Doesn't mean that they're too heavy for the whole class, but it can be nice to have a range of weights if that's possible. What I probably should have done is switch to a smaller weight, or here I could have done these just using my body weight, which would have been much easier. All right, one more here. We're going to hold this weight at your chest. We're going to do some curtsies. So let's inhale and then exhale to stand. Keep that chest nice and tall, holding the weight in a nice loose or a nice relaxed grip, I should say, at your chest. We're bending those knees just as much as we comfortably can. Couple more. Excellent. You can pop the weight down. Good. We're all finished with our weights. We have 2 more exercises, and they are more core specific. I will show you what to do if you are going to be on your feet, if you don't want to be on the ground. So to start with, you're going to be against the wall at an arm's length. Step those feet out so you're in the standing plank position. My arms are outstretched, as you can see. I'm going to come down to elbow, elbow, hand, hand. It's quite difficult here because I have like a piece of trim here, so it's hard on the elbows, but I'll show you that again. In that plank position, we're going to bend one arm so your elbow is touching the wall, and then the other, push yourself back up, and again. So elbow, elbow, push up to hand, and with the other hand. Elbow, elbow, push with your hands to come back up. So that's number 1. It's a plank to elbow exercise. The second one, you'll be on the chair. And you will do some pelvic tilts. So you're going to sit in the middle of your chair, space between your back and the back of the chair, feet flat on the floor. You're going to tilt, push your pelvis out behind you. So think about sticking out your tailbone and then roll under to tuck your tailbone under. So push out, roll and tuck under. Push and tuck under. Push your tailbone out, tuck that tailbone in. 1 and 2. A small movement, breathing nice and deeply as you do that. So people who want to come down to the floor, let's do that now. I'm going to take 1 foot forward. I'm going to lower my back knee. So I'm going to lift that back heel, lower down, bend that front knee, hinge at the hip, hands down to either side of that front foot, down to all fours. And I just prefer to turn this way. I can see the camera better if I turn this way. So we're going to be on all fours for the first one. So if you are not joining me on the ground, you're standing and doing that plank to elbow against the wall. On the floor here, we're doing the same hand to elbow movement, but we're on all fours. So we're coming down to elbows and then up to all fours again. Here we go. Inhale as you come down, and exhale to push yourself back up. I'm starting with my left hand. The left hand is leading here, and the left hand is the first one to push me back up. We'll do all on the one side, and then the next time we do this, we'll switch up the hands. One more. Good. We're going to come onto our backs now. If you are not on the floor, you will want to sit down and do that pelvic tilt. If you're on the ground, we're going to do a bridge lift. So we're flat on the floor. Let's inhale, then exhale, lift up those hips, squeeze through your bum, squeeze your glutes, and then slowly lower to the floor. Exhale to lift up, inhale to lower down. Good, nice and slowly. Good. Let's do one more here. Very good. And we'll take a small break here. We'll repeat this bridge lift or this pelvic tilt if you're on the chair before we come up to all fours or stand up. So let's get comfortable again on the ground. If you're on the floor, you want your low back to really be touching the floor here. So tilt your pelvis so that your low back is making contact with the floor. We don't want an arched back. We want that low back to be supported by the ground. If you're seated, let's go ahead and do that pelvic tilt. If you're on the floor, breathe out, lift those hips, squeeze your bum, and then let's inhale to slowly lower. Good, nice and slowly. Last one here. Good. If you're on the chair, you can come up to feet and we'll do that plank to elbow, the standing version. If you're on the floor, let's roll those knees over, roll onto your side. We're going to push ourselves up just slowly. Bring those knees underneath so we're on all fours. Whether you're standing or on the ground here, we're lowering our right hand to the elbow first. So here we go, elbow, elbow, push up to all fours. Nice deep breaths. If you can, inhale as you lower down, exhale to push yourself back up. Once more. Good. And you can pause there. I'm going to bring one knee forwards. Push myself up to this half kneeling position. I'm going to use a chair here. Push myself up to stand. Good. Excellent. All right. It is time to balance, but let's have a drink first. Good. So we're going to stand with our feet really close to each other. While we balance, let's make sure we're within an arm's reach of support furniture. I always use the wall, so make sure you have something to hang on to. Feet close together, knees soft. I'm going to reach one hand to the ceiling, and then the other, arms out to the sides. And I'm going to aeroplane, one hand up, one hand down. Yeah, nice and slowly. Good, relax those arms. Let's take one foot, tap forwards, and back. Oh, sorry, and back to center there. Tap forwards, and back. Forwards, and back. Forwards, and back. Keep those feet close together. Forwards, and back. Forwards, and back. Last one. And let's switch to the other foot. Tap that foot forwards, and back. Forwards, and back. Forwards, back. Good. Once more. Excellent. We can do a little bit on one foot here. So again, close to that support furniture. Let's stand on that right foot. The knee is soft, and we're going to lift that left foot up off the floor. We're going to take a moment to find our balance. Hold that foot where it feels comfortable. The higher you have your foot off the floor, probably the more challenging it's going to be to find your balance. So keep that in mind. That knee is nice and relaxed. Good. And let's just spend a few moments looking forwards, finding something to look at that isn't moving. Good, let's take that hand, we're going to push out to the side and pull in. Push out, pull in, out, and in. Out, in, and in. Good. If you can alternate hands. That does involve either switching the hand that's holding on to furniture or taking both hands off. Make sure you can quickly place that toe on the floor if you have both hands unsupported. Find something to look at that isn't moving. Focus your eyes on that spot. That's going to help keep that balance. Good. Relax. And we'll switch to the other side. So I'll stand on that left foot. Knee nice and soft. Take that right foot up off the floor. Good. Let's again find that spot to look at. Something that isn't moving. Focus your eyes here. And we'll just hold for a moment. Good. Let's take one hand, push out to the side, and in, out, and in, out, and in. If you can, add the other hand. Couple more. And feet on the floor. Great, excellent. We're going to move around a little bit more for this next exercise. We're going to imagine that we were in a big crowded space and somebody pushes into you from behind, accidentally, I'm sure, but you end up having to take a big step to avoid just completely losing your balance. Now I want to practice that big step forwards, landing basically on the one foot and being able to push yourself back up to that original position, so both feet comfortable on the floor. Obviously, we can't surprise ourselves, but we can practice the motion. So stepping forwards, you can bend your knees a little bit or a lot. This is a really big step. You could take a smaller step, bend your knees a little bit. You could take a big step, bend your knees a lot. That's up to you, depending on how confident you are with your balance, how happy you are to bend your knees. Hold on to the support if you want to. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of move at our own speed here. So I'm taking a step forwards, I land, and then push myself back up. As you land on that one foot, maybe pause for a moment, and then push yourself back to center. You can pause again. Take a moment to catch yourself, kind of catch that balance. We're alternating the foot that steps forwards. Sometimes the right foot, sometimes the left. Maybe one foot is happier with a bigger step than the other, and that's okay, and that's normal. This is going to look a little bit different for everybody. Good. It feels easy making that step a little bit bigger. You want to challenge yourself with the bigger knee bends. You can do that too. And if you want to, you can try taking that step out to the side. Maybe somebody bumped into you from the side. You're taking that kind of lateral step, which is going to feel pretty different. Hold yourself and then push back up. Remember, we're holding on as much as we need for that extra support to push back to 2 feet. This is actually tricky in socks because they're a little bit slippery on the floor. And usually I'm good at staying on the mat. For this kind of big step exercise, It's not as easy to do and stay on the mat. So I'm slipping around a little bit. Good, we'll do once more on each side. Last one. Take that one to the side. Good. Let's stand now with our arms up in the air, like a Y shape. Stand on that right leg and let's lift the left. And we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Onto the left foot, raise the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Feet to the floor. And relax those arms. We have one more to do. We're going to have our feet really close together, and we're going to tap that toe forwards to the side and then behind. Tap forwards to the side and behind. Tap forwards to the side and behind. A little more, a little faster, sorry, to the side, behind. Tap forwards to the side, behind, forwards, side, and behind. Good. As you tap forwards, this time let's lift for 3, 2, and 1. Out to the side, lift, 3, 2, and 1. And again, tap behind you, lift, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's stand on the right foot and tap that left forwards to the side and behind. So nice and slowly to begin with. Forwards, side, behind. Forwards, side, behind. Good. Let's go a little bit faster. And again. Good. As you tap forwards, let's lift and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Out to the side, lift, 3, 2, and 1. And behind, lift, 3, 2, 1. Good. Feet to the floor. Time for us to stretch. Let's take an arm across our body and feel that nice stretch through your shoulder, through your upper arm. Oh, good. Switch to the other side. Great, relax that arm. Let's take one hand up to the ceiling. We're going to bend at the elbow, hand behind your back. You can use this other hand to stabilize here. So let's relax, switch to the other side, arm to the ceiling, hand behind your back, and hold. Good, relax that arm again. Let's have a seat. And we're going to sit right back in the chair, pull one knee in. Ooh, let's circle this ankle here in the other direction. Good, let's switch to the other side. Pull that knee in, and circle your ankle. And the other way. Good, feet on the floor. I'm going to sit in the middle of my chair, sit forward in my chair a little bit. I'm going to take my right leg and think about bringing the arch of that right foot towards the shin on my left foot. Let me turn so I'm facing you. I'm going to make this motion, and I can feel this in my hip here as that hip opens. I'm going to choose a spot to hold this foot. I can feel that nice stretch in here. Foot could be low, could be high up. You could even take your foot all the way onto the opposite knee. If you do this, you should be able to easily get yourself back out. Shouldn't feel painful. Just go as far as you can to feel that nice stretch, as far as you comfortably can, I should say. And let's sit up nice and tall. Stretch here. Good, let's relax this foot down. Let's try the same with the other foot. I like to make this motion a couple of times, bring that instep towards my shin, and then find that spot where you're going to hold the stretch. Sit up nice and tall here. Good, slowly relax that foot. Let's come up to standing. We're gonna reach our arms behind us, reach for the back of the room, take a deep breath in. And then exhale, wrap those arms around you. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze, a pat on the back. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for coming. I will see you on Wednesday.